Too late. Evening, people. It might have been one of the greatest days of our recent history. 20 times could have been sung today, but it ended up being a really, really good day. The sun was out, Liverpool were out, but at times Liverpool were off. Then came on Trent, and then something else came off as well. His shirt, yes, him. He came on, he scored, and took his shirt off. Then it was another. The plot thickened, boys. Is he staying? Why didn't he kiss the badge? He should have kissed the badge. He's done. He's not gonna come back. He's not gonna stay. And he was always gonna have his moment, wasn't he? Where we talk about Trent. Every other player you think, Virgil, Salah, McAllister, Gravenberg, even Nunes have had their moment, and I think it was his moment today. And we'll come to his moment later on, but. Thank you very much for joining us. We're quite regular these days, I must say, but welcome. Smash the like on the way in, relax. And I've got my cuppa. I think Avi must have his coffee somewhere. And Gene, what are you having these days? Tell me.
My cuppa tea.
Was that the
mug for a mug? That's what it is.
Angie, go on, Ave.
That must have been the latest Liverpool gift. You know when you sign up for a membership or something.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry
to interrupt, but if you haven't seen it yet, just watch Valverde's Tallah today. 93rd minute. What a goal. What a goal.
Talk about not our Valverde, but our goal today. It's all about...
Valverde, he can't score Tallah like that. He's supposed to come in and score belters like that. But ever since Gene did that show, I think Sabosra is, he's like the Valverde type. He's never scored again. So
yes, you're right. He got a Q after that, man. What's wrong with you?
But just watch this goal. Everything's good, Asim. I'll take over a little bit here. Everything's good. Number 66 scores with his first left foot goal, I believe, ever. Not just for Liverpool, but I think it's his first left foot goal. It was a very boring first half. It was like a procession almost, as in first half. I think most of the lads were on holiday. I think Diaz showed. I thought Diaz was probably McAllister. I thought they were sort of the best players. Salah was creating, but I think that was all it was, wasn't it? First half. It was a very, like I said, a procession. The boys know that they're home and dry almost now. But second half we picked it up. I think they must have got a little bit of a rollicking in the changing rooms. But second half we'll go into it. Second half we put in a more accomplished performance and we grabbed the goal.
Gene, let's start with the lineup. Were you a bit surprised? I thought
Asim, forget the lineup, man. One game to go, mate. One game to go till we get that number 20. No structure, mate. Let's go win this title, man. That's all that I give a shit about. I don't care how we play, what we do, what formations we play, who plays left back, right back. In my head, bro, it's just number 20. One game to go. Trust me, I just want that title to come. And you know what? You know it's coming. You just know it's coming. And I'm just glad that it's out on the field. We finally get to celebrate the title together. And that's really important to me because we waited 30 plus years to go and win this title, 35 years to win a title where we can all celebrate it together. The other one, yes, it was amazing the way we won it, all that type of stuff. But we were lacking that one thing where we could celebrate it together. And this year is here. And the best buzz about it is not really many people expected us to win it.
No one did. Just give yourself the credit. You said it at the beginning of the season.
No, but I'm talking about Liverpool fans over here.
Look, I never gave us a chance. I don't believe Asim gave us a chance. Look, we thought that, can we keep up with Man City and Arsenal? Yeah, we probably could for the first 17, 20 games. But then you really see the class of City and Arsenal pulling away like they have done like the previous 2 seasons, right? But yeah, look, credit to Slaw. I think Gary Neville today said it perfectly. He's come in and the transition has been so seamless that we don't kind of miss Jurgen, yet we still miss Jurgen. He said it in a way like we miss his spirit, his personality. The Premier League misses that. But in terms of quality, in terms of this team, he's come in without any additions, bar Federico Chiesa, who's been a bit pop. He's not been a bit pop player, small pop player. in this success. He's just got to tune out these players. He's made these 6 out of 10 players last season, like the Sabossalais, like the Gravenberches, into an 8 out of 10 players this season. Salah's gone up a notch, you know. And who would have thought that? Salah, at the age of 32, going up an even further level, eclipsing 2017-18. You know, when he came in as a 25-year-old, scoring 44 goals in the season. You know, Van Dijk's looked brilliant again. The leader, you know, Alisson has come in, and he's been injured. Keller has played his part. Everyone's played their part in this team, Asim. And you know what? People have said, oh, there were journalists and people in the media saying, oh, it's been, you know, it's an underwhelming season because you missed out on the League Cup, the Champions League. You know what? They can politely F off. This has been a season for the record books. We won this league in March, early March, if anything.
Avi, we walked the title. Avi,
Yeah.
the truth is, look, one thing I want to say, and I want to make it clear is, look, anybody that tries to downplay this title, yeah, trying to say, oh, Arsenal weren't great, Man City weren't great, you know what? Oh, F you, because the truth is, we have been unbelievable. We are on track to hit 94 points. Yeah, if we win our next 4 to 5 games, yeah, 94 points that the likes of Arsenal have never got close to hitting. So let's put this into perspective. Regardless of how well Arsenal or City have done, this league is still full of unbelievable football teams. You've got Europa League. I know they're both shit. You've got United and what's his name? Spurs in the semi-finals. You've got bloody teams like Villa, you know, got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Arsenal were in the semi-final. This is a packed Premier League season, and we had a lot of teams that actually had really, really good seasons. So don't let anybody tell you that, you know what, this league isn't the same. We've made this league look easy because we're 50, whatever points clear we are at the top of the table. We deserve all the credit we got. And you know what? I love it when these absolute idiots here on Twitter have a go at our football club, because you know what? We don't give a shit how we win this title. We just want this title, and we are going to win this title. And Arsenal and Chelsea are both going to give us guard of honors. I cannot wait to be at that game when I see the likes of Saka and Martinelli and all them bullshit things that they try to do, that, you know, making them out to be something unbelievable. This is Liverpool Football Club. You're going to give us a guard of honor at Anfield, and I can't wait to be there, Asim. I'll be straight with you. I've always been all right with Arsenal, yeah, Asim, over the years. But for the last few years, especially that, you know, I think it was that Carling Cup game semi-final where we played them over 2 legs. Yeah. After that game, yeah, when they said, oh, we tried to get it moved because of COVID and all that type of stuff. I've actually didn't like them since then. And you know what? To give them a big FU is just, honestly, I just can't wait to be there to see that guard of honor, because they're going to cry whilst we lift number 20.
Oh, we might cry as well. Might be different type of tears.
Listen, we'll be bloody chaliya mein, no crying. We'll be jumping for joy. I guarantee you that.
Let's go to our.
Asim, it comes at a time where we still need to go through a rebuild in the summer. You know,
keep the rebuild. Keep the rebuild there. Keep the rebuild there. That was just wax lyrical about our manager, Rehan. Big up, man. You're always supporting us and supporting the
channel. Kajwa. He deserves to have. He always comes into the super chats. Ryan Kajwa, that's his name. So salute. Say his last name as well, innit?
Ryan
Kajwa.
Kawaja. You can't even say it yourself.
Khawaja.
Kawaja.
There you go. Kawaja. Sorry.
Honestly, man. Anyway, move on. Honestly, I am lost for words. A league title in his first season after replacing Jurgen. My manager only does phase win. Phase wins. Edwards and Hughes are cooking domination. Next Sunday, can't wait. Getting there early for the coach. Gene, is it going to be a bit of an entrance for him?
Look, Asim, I think in terms of the atmosphere before the game, I think, look, we will be really, really up for it. I think there will be something where the fans will want to go out there and show their appreciation to this football team, because it is going to be a monumental occasion. I can't wait. And I'm hoping, inshallah, that, you know what, we are 1 or 2 goals up towards the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, when you know the title's coming, where just being able to grasp that title, and to be able to be in that stadium and witness, you know, a title, because we've not seen it for 35 years. We haven't seen it in our lifetime. And it's going to be an unbelievable occasion. And on those, look, We deserve it.
You must remember when we won it in '84. You must have been back then in '84. Asim, I don't remember when we last won the title. He was 10 when we won it in '84.
Yeah. Anyway, Avi, man, you know what I mean. But you know, look. There will be something. I think the fans will be really up for it. This is going to be a game that we waited for a long, long time, and I just can't wait for the game to start. I just want that number 20 sealed, signed, so I can go bagel. Because we deserve it, man. We've how many near misses have we had over the years? So many times, the Gerrard year, the 2 years under Klopp. There was 1 year really, really early where we bodged it over like 4 or 5 games to go. It was in the early 90s, or I think it was. I can't remember when it was. Bilal will remind me, because Bilal always reminds me. That year when we were like, we were 4 points clear with 6 points clear with 4 games to go, and we still messed it up. That game against Coventry always lives with me, Avi. That Coventry game, yeah, and that. So we've had near misses,
that was
and this is
time under Roy Evans.
I know it was a long time ago, and so this is like now we're at that time where we can finally, really celebrate. And honestly, it just feels so good because we weren't really expecting it, and to do something that we've all wanted when you didn't expect it. This is the place, man. This next Sunday at Anfield, all eyes are going to be on Anfield.
Avi, you want to say something?
I think the Spurs fans will be serenading us as well. I think they'll be joining in next week. Anything to hand us the title over Arsenal. I think Spurs fans will be at it as well. But the atmosphere will be crazy. I just hope that Arsenal hold their line midweek. I just hope they win. Because if they win, then next Sunday it's set in stone, isn't it? Just beat Spurs and we win the title. I don't like this, when we win the title and we're not playing, or they're playing at some pub waiting for the result like they did Chelsea, Man City. I know that was separate because of COVID and whatnot, but
do you want Arsenal to win Palace then before?
Yeah, okay. I don't want the game to be like it's already like we've already won the league on Wednesday. It's better on the day we beat Spurs. I think it'll have that much kick and a little bit more sort of spice to it. Once we do win, I think we'll go up a notch in terms of noise.
Okay, are we gonna keep on talking about next week, or do we really want to discuss the game for the rest of the show? I wanted to ask you about Tsimikas, Gene. Was it a surprise he kept his place? Does that create a few more question marks over the future of Robertson? How do you see it?
2 games in a row, Asim. That I don't think about. I think when Robbo's been injured, that's when Tsimikas has really played 2. Actually, there was a time where I think he played 3 or 4 games before he got injured. But look, Tsimikas, every time he's come on, Asim, he's looked decent and he's played well. I think there's yesterday a couple of times, where he might have got caught, but generally he's not really let us down whenever he's come on. And I think his delivery into the box is always fantastic. He does that having him, and just on set pieces, Asim, when I see McAllister and I see Tsimikas take the corners, I feel so much at ease. I feel like we have some sort of threat, and we saw that today because we've got close on a few occasions in terms of our corners, and I hate Robbo taking them. Look, Robbo, unbelievable servant, but if I'm seeing, yes, I saw that Tsimikas was front seat for the boxing. If it's you never know, Slot might want to keep Tsimikas and say to Robbo, thank you very much.
Do you think there's an acceptance that Tsimikas will accept being playing second fiddle to our new left back, but Robertson won't?
I think Robertson will want to fight for his place, and he's mentioned it, and Robbo's that type of person and character as him, that if another left back did come in, he'd still want to fight for his place. He'd want to fight for that place. Whereas Tsimikas is probably, he's been understudy now for a number of years, and he's probably thinking it's probably time for me to maybe move on and find a place where I can play week in, week out, because he's a really, really good left back, and he's not really ever let us down. So whatever they decide, I'm okay with. If they decide to keep Robbo as second fiddle to Kirkes or whoever comes in, or if Tsimikas stays and Robbo goes, I'm okay with it, as long as they bring in a left back, and it looks like that will be our first signing.
Avi, what would you do, and which way do you think Slot goes?
I think Robbo stays. I think we'll part ways with Tsimikas.
Okay.
Sure, he should have scored today. I thought he should have got his first goal ever today with the.
He had a few chances.
But he's been always dependable. Look, scored the winning penalty against Chelsea, so he's got his name sort of set in stone in our history. Always dependable. When he gets a run of games, he's even better. But yeah, I think he'll be the one that departs, and I think it will be a challenge that Robertson relishes. Whether Kirkes comes in and whoever comes in that left back berth, I think Robertson will relish it, and I think it'll make him a better player. You've got to remember, he's only still 30. I know there's a lot of mileage in those legs, but he's still 30 years old. He's still got a couple of years, I feel. And if he's happy to play as second fiddle initially at the start of the season, but work himself in and get the cup games, I think Robert will be fine. I think it's imperative that we keep Robertson because of he is the elder statesman. A bit of leadership, we will still need that in this squad.
I've got a bit of a feeling that Robbo goes.
You have plenty of these feelings. Just putting it out there.
I can look. I get where you're coming from. You might, like I said to you, I think it might be time that if we keep Tsimikas, I think it gives us a lot more in terms of attacking threat. Put it that way. And if we bring in Kirkes, it's going to be difficult, man. Because I think there's times where I felt this season, at the start of the season, I felt Tsimikas had actually gone in front of Robbo, where he was our number one choice. I think he played 4 or 5 games on the bounce, and he would have been our number one choice. But he got injured, and Robbo got his time. Robbo got his minutes, and then had to carry on playing. So it's not like Robbo was guaranteed starter all season. He wasn't. He actually lost his place before Tsimikas got injured. So I can see it happening.
God says Asim has a new feeling every week. Just to let you know, this feeling is not based on any information. You're allowed feelings, aren't you? You're allowed an opinion. I just got a feeling. Look, with his, I think him captaining his country as well. I think he's been used to being an integral part of the Liverpool side, and I know his mentality. He will want to, really fight for his position and stuff. But I think sometimes you have to listen to your legs as well. I think we know, and I think deep down he would accept that he knows he's not the same player. And Liverpool have really, really lacked running power down that left-hand side. And when he sees someone, he's seen Kirkes play, someone like Kirkes, Arne Slot will add speed and power and physicality to this team. That's one thing. We've got plenty of quality, but that's one trait that we've been missing. I think it might be a bit too much. And we have to convince a really good established left back to come in. We can't promise everyone a first team place, but when you see your own team spending 40, 50 million pounds on a fullback, I don't know. If it was a player from a foreign league, you might have a different sort of perspective where you might need him to settle into the league and stuff. But I think Kirkes has got plenty of Premier League minutes under his belt for him to come in. I agree with Ali. Asim Robbo is a very good.
That's why I
agree with him. He's one of the most liked players amongst the squad, amongst the fans. He's an unbelievable leader, unbelievable connector. I wouldn't mind him staying, but I just got a feeling that he might leave. But let's see what happens. I think there's another Aaron Goodband. Thank you very much for your super chat. Big up to all you guys. Absolutely elated for the win today. Thanks again, Asim, for my shirt. Oh, brilliant. For my shirt, brother. I didn't know who it was. I absolutely up the Reds. Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you very much for sending that through. Everyone's loving it. I want to ask you about Szoboszlai, his performance as well, Avi. When every time Liverpool don't play, the number 10 gets a lot of stick. I think, look, he didn't have a good game, but I also think Liverpool lack a quality where, especially when we come up against a Leicester who are shite, but are trying to stay low, trying to stay compact. I was having this conversation with Gina after halftime. I asked him in the first half, how many balls did you see Szoboszlai receive in the little pocket outside the box? And he said, I can't remember. So my point is yes, he didn't have a good game, but when you're starved from, supply, it's really difficult for him, I thought.
I get that, but number 10 should also be orchestrating the play in terms of asking for the ball, being in different positions. I think, with Szoboszlai, first half especially, he was kind of in the same area. Diaz was doing his thing, trying to hold the ball up. I thought he was doing okay. Gakpo was a little bit anonymous today. Salah was doing his bits and pieces today. Should have scored, to be honest, Salah, first 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That should have been a goal, really, thingy. But Szoboszlai, he needs to be more of a take the initiative a little bit. Number 10s do that, Asim. You look at the likes of Florian Wirtz, when the game's quiet and they need that moment, they will go and look for the ball. They will drop in deeper. They'll almost get in that little centre circle to get the ball and then drive. Morgan Rogers does that. Yesterday, you saw his run against Newcastle. Look where he picked the ball up. And he runs 30, 40 yards, gets pulled up by Joelinton. You need to be asking for the ball. So Bossai likes you to stay in those zones. You've got you're great at numbering those zones, 14, 13, and 15. But he just stays in those zones. He needs to be looking more for the ball. And he does that when the intensity of the game is up to level. He does that. We've seen him in the big games. We've seen the running power. But we need to see a bit more creativity from him.
Avi, the thing, what you just mentioned, the big games. I think he's been integral in the big games. My issue with Sobo has probably been when he's playing against this type of team, where in terms of the 10 against the lesser sides, where he's expected to come into the pockets, expect to get the ball and make play, where he's probably struggled. And I get Asim's point. Asim was mentioning to me that look, we've really struggled in terms of build up. Where we're not been able to see any balls through the lines come into the number 10 positions where they can actually do something. And yes, we do struggle at times to do that. Van Dijk's probably and with respect, there's that ball or Van Dijk's ball over to Salah is probably one move that we always do. Or when we get ball gets on that side, we'll move it and we try to isolate Gakpo one-on-one with their right back. That's the only sort of real moves that we see from this Liverpool football team. I think, we do need more. We do need more from a number 10 to be able to get into that space and create more, because we have struggled. Yes, I accept Asim's point. The in terms of playing the ball into the 10s, we've struggled, but we still expect more. And I agree with Avi. The 10 has to be able to give us more in that position, where if he has to drop deep, he drops deep, picks up the ball and starts to do something. Because it's not always about running power, getting into, against the big sides it is, and we need that. But against the lesser sides, we do need quality. And that's why I can understand Liverpool going in for a proper number 10.
I don't think he's intricate enough to be a 10.
Yeah, I can accept that.
In terms of play that little ball, that little flick, that little 1-2, doing something out of the norm. Harvey Elliott has that. Great players. Me and Tino actually talking about great players here. Raquelme had that. That little bit of intricacy just to play that little ball
Raquelme, in. Man.
Number 9, or Pablo Aimar, or Diego, the Brazilian Diego back in the day. Odegaard's got it.
But I don't think Raquelme was that number 10. I thought Raquelme was a number 10 where he still had to have face play.
Yeah. 100%. He wasn't, and he wasn't a runner, by the way. Raquelme wasn't a runner.
I think you run more than him, Avi.
Played with perfection, but Odegaard's got it a lot. Odegaard does a bit of both, but he's got that pass where he can just play that ball, that through ball. Salah's got that intricacy play, but Bossai doesn't have it, and we do need someone and maybe we do bring someone in an 8 in a 10 position this season. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll be looking at that market where someone can just do something out of the norm from time to time.
Yeah, look, I tweeted that at halftime, Liverpool are in desperate need. I've been talking about it for a month now, where Liverpool need. I've been waxing lyrical, and just like every fan, about Ryan Gravenberch's reading of the game, his interceptions, his dribbling, his ability on the halfway line to turn and go into space and have a little dribble. But when we are faced with an organized, and look, Leicester is shit. Let's get out there. Liverpool were in pre-season mode, but we've been here before, and we missed that pass. And when McAllister goes into areas, because they are really compact and organized, and you see Slot all the time telling McAllister, and he's doing this, just go in those little half spaces because he's expecting him to receive the ball. But when Van Dijk is not passing it into Gravenberch. Now, that Van Dijk to Gravenberch is one of the best passes in world football. It's progressive. But Gravenberch is one being closely marked, especially in the last 2-3 months. And if he does receive it, he doesn't have a pass into the 2 number 10s. And this is my problem with him. He doesn't have that 20-30 yard pass. And I don't think he has that progressive passing from the halfway line. But look, and that's why McAllister sometimes comes deep to be that dictator, to be that tempo setter, and to be that progressive line, to break lines. But when that Van Dijk switch isn't on for Salah, or the Van Dijk passing to Gravenberch isn't on, then we do look predictable, especially if you've got McAllister higher up and advanced in the positions of the pitch, and Trent, more importantly, is missing. Then where does that creativity come from? Apart from when that Van Dijk switch goes to Salah, Salah holds it, plays the ball inside for Bradley to be running into the space and for him to provide a cutback. But I'm with you, Avi, that I think if you're not going to play Harvey Elliott, then you need to decide in the summer either sell him or play him more, because at the moment he's not doing anything in terms, because I don't think Harvey Elliott is getting enough minutes. And if you don't trust him, then you have to do something about it. Get the 30-40 million and go get, if you want to spend 20-30 million more on a Xavi Simons, if you want a bit of a more of a natural 10 than Szoboszlai, but still have the running power. Okay. If you want a pure natural 10, have a contrast between Szoboszlai and Ryan Cherki, then I'm more up for that as well. That's a cheaper option, obviously. And then, Ryan Cherki is a creative hub, and we have to really, if Trent is leaving, when Trent is leaving, call it what you like, we have to really compensate, or fill in for the lack of creativity when he leaves. Either go get a natural number 10, either go get another number 9, number 10, right back, who can go up and down just like Bradley, because whoever you bring is not going to be Alexander-Arnold. It's not going to be. So we have to create something, a dynamic that works next season. And I'm a bit worried if it's just Bradley. I hope we're not going to go down that route. We discussed it a bit last season, last show, but it'll be interesting to which way he goes, Avi.
It does. And just on Cherki as well, I've been saying for many months now, maybe a year now, I think we do need to part ways with Elliott. My problem with Cherki is, as talented as the boy is, and he is talented, right? What he can do with the football, he can do some unbelievable things. But the problem with the Cherki is he okay to be not a bit part player, but a player that starts maybe once every 4 games against the lower teams? Is he happy to be a bit part player on the bench? I don't think he is at 21. He will want regular football. He'll want to be the linchpin of some team. Whether he stays again another year at Lyon or whether he leaves Lyon for another team, I'm not sure if Ryan Cherki is a big team player. I can see him fitting in like a lesser team. And when I'm talking a lesser team, like, I don't know, a West Ham almost, in that sort of ilk. For a Liverpool team, I don't think he's a player that will be selected every week as him. Like a big game against a City and Arsenal away, Cherki will not be starting those.
Okay, games. if you had 30 million for that, if you're not going to go get Ryan Cherki, who would you get for that number 10 position if Harvey Elliott leaves? Or would you just go spend the 70-80 million pound then for that number 10 area?
I would look for like a 8-10 then, Asim. A little bit more creative with numbers. You're not going to get I can't even think of anyone at 30 million. At 40, 50, yeah. But who my first choice would be is the player from Ukraine. But at the moment, Xavi Simons' talk is there. Cherki, if Cherki was happy to come in as a bit part player, go for it and say, look, this is your goal. And when the going gets tough, when it's 0-0, someone to unlock defenses, you'll be. And that's
Gene, selection makes a good point that Cherki needs to go to a team that really controls territory. That's not us at the moment, in my opinion. But who really controls territory? Man City used to be that team. They're not that team anymore. You're on mute.
Sorry, I said, to be honest with you, not many teams. If I can say maybe a little bit of Arsenal, they probably keep the ball a lot better than everybody else in terms of commanding territory. But the rest of them, I haven't really seen teams actually start commanding the commanding play, let alone anything else. Man City were probably the only ones and they did it for years. And we've seen over the last year, 2 years, Man City are not the same side that are able to do that. Now, the Premier League, Asim, I mentioned earlier, this is where you're up against teams that have got some fantastic players. A lot of these teams are good enough. They're all internationals. You look at especially the top 10, all the teams can play football. So they're not going to be scared to come at you. They will have their own moments. They will create play and control games at times, especially at home. So I'm not going to lie, Asim. If you said to me, Ryan Cherki, will bring him in for 25 million, I will say bring him in today. Because he has got something about him. For 25 million, Asim, it's a no-brainer, right? But the key is you have to be able 25 million for that type of player, yes, but that doesn't mean you can't go and spend big in other areas. Yes, I will take Cherky, whatever he is, as long as other players are, other positions are addressed. Because for me, if we bring in a Xavi Simmons, that's 80 million, and then we say, okay, you know what, an Etikite, whatever, and one or two others, okay. But Shirky, I do like him. I've seen him play 3 or 4 times now, and every time I've seen him play, he's impressed me. But I get what in terms of Avi, why he says, you know what, does he have the running power? He's only 21, but he has something about him, you know. He does have something about him, Avi, and I like that, man.
He's a maverick.
He's a player. He's a player that we've not had since the type of player that we've not had since Coutinho, and he's got at the line, and we've saw that against United. He's got a brilliant left foot. He can produce magic.
He's right.
To be fair,
right foot too.
Right foot too. But you know, he's got a bit of magic about him, and we lack that mold of player.
Because he's got versatility, Gene.
Yeah, he can play on the left if we need to give Salah a bit of a rest. He's got that in him.
You know who'd be the dream player who gives you the work rate as well, and Spain facilitate him, and they did in the Euros. Is Dani Olmo. He's a brilliant player connecting the front three.
Yeah,
playing with the midfield too as well. With
but is he a 10 though?
Huh?
Is he a 10?
He's a 10. He's a 10. He's an 8-10, but he's more of a 10. Like obviously Barcelona with Hansi Flick, the possession that they have. Dani Olmo would be my pick, but you're talking big bucks for him, and he's 28 as well now, so he's getting on a bit.
I like Olmo as a false 9.
It works if you have the players in midfield though, like a Ruiz, a Pedri, a Rodri as well. It helps if you have the pure board controllers.
Yeah,
and it helps if you got wingers who have got absolute tella pace as well. You need their wingers are flipping next level. With respect, you know, to Salah and our other wingers, you know, they're not exactly blessed with pace, are they?
Yeah, there was a question from our very own Zach, who helps us clipping. Big up to Zach and you as well. He's helping us a lot. He asked if Liverpool don't get a front man, does he see Liverpool go with 2 10s? I don't think so. That 2 10s is like a different tactic, or a tactic that where you use it here and there in different situations. It's not going to be our be all and end all, Zach. I don't see it. We will definitely buy a number 9. Who that number 9 is, I can't tell you. Nobody knows apart from Avi. But we will bring a number 9 in this summer. I can assure you that. There's one more super chat from our very own Ali. Thank you very much. Xavi Simmons will be in the Premier League next season at LFC. Wow, go on, Ali, to come on ITK. I thought
Ali Bomba.
Ali Bomba. There we have it. We've got Ali Bomba. He's been spending too much time with Avi. That's his problem. Avi, let's go to the other side. Cody Gakpo. It's been a while now that he's come back from injury. He's not looked himself. That is fair to say. But I've done plenty of talking about Cody Gakpo over the last 5-6 months. I leave it to others now. But you know what? I'm glad the people are coming around. Because I like Cody Gakpo, and big up to him because he scored a lot of goals. He's been an integral part to our this season in terms of scoring goals. But whether people like it or not, I don't think Cody Gakpo is a great player. I think Cody Gakpo is a good player, and that's what I've meant a long time ago. But just his performances of late, his performance today, he did go on the outside a few times. Was that delivery good enough for you on most occasions with his left foot?
It wasn't, but you know what, Asim, when the league sort of wrapped up, I'm not going to be too harsh on him either.
Yeah, fair.
He has been injured. He didn't look fit against, which game was it where he came off the bench? Was it Newcastle? The final. I think Newcastle in the final, he was totally off it.
He played against Fulham as well, didn't he? No.
Fulham, there's a few games where he just hasn't looked fit. He goes away to Holland though, surprisingly, against Spain in the 2 games. He scored, I think, in both games as well. So you know he looked okay there. Comes back, he hasn't got going. Is he a great player? As of now, no, but he's put in very good numbers, Asim. And I'm not here to support Sarib while he's away on the Gakpo subject, but he's been a very important part this season, Asim, in us winning the league as well. Him and Diaz combined have put up the numbers that Mane was doing all by himself. But Mane, like I've said plenty of times, was an anomaly. You know, he's my top 5 of Liverpool of all time. You know, that the boy, that passion, the the ability that Mane had, and the quality that he brought, Diaz and Gakpo just fall slightly short. But combined, on the left-hand side, I think they've done brilliant numbers. But yeah, I think 5 games to go. I think now for Gakpo would be just get your fitness in and maybe grab a goal or two, get your confidence back up, have a good preseason, have a good break.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, I think I don't think there's any question that Gakpo will not be a Liverpool player going into next season. Start showing that form that we know that he's capable of, because he has gone on a patch. Asim, he has been consistent with his numbers. I would like him to get a few more assists. I think he needs to be more. He needs to help on that side where Salah is producing 18 assists for the season. Gakpo needs to up his numbers, and Diaz too. He had to up his numbers, and I think Diaz in the last 4 or 5 games we've seen much better performances from him. But the little patch where Diaz went 1 goal in 17, that's not good enough. And if you want to win the league, and if you want to retain your championship, if you want to retain the title, you need better numbers from the left in terms of not having these patches. You've got to be consistent throughout. So Gakpo for me, again, today he wasn't great. He was anonymous. But I think now till the end of the season, just get your fitness up.
Just to put it back on you, Avi, would you start Cody Gakpo as your first choice left winger next season? Right now, if I given you the choice.
You put me on the spot there.
Be honest.
No, because I believe we will do business on that left-hand side.
Okay, fair enough. Gene, Cody Gakpo thoughts? There's a lot of no's. There's a lot of no's,
Cody Gakpo has had a really, really good season. A season where I didn't think in terms of when... Look, I think I need to talk about the left-hand side as a whole. I think we've done really well on that left-hand side this season. Whether it's been Diaz at the start of the season, he had a really, really good start. He got, he dropped off, went in the forward line. Gakpo came in and started playing fantastically well. He's dropped off over the last 6-7 games because of injury, and Diaz has come back in and done pretty well in that position. So in the left-hand position, Asim, as a whole, we've actually done okay, and that's why I think we've got away with it. Whether the two players are good enough to take Liverpool to the next level, if I'm honest with you, no. I've always wanted numbers. Yes, to this season, they've given us decent numbers, right? But let's not sugarcoat this, guys. In terms of our forward play numbers, we've won the title because of one man's numbers. Let's be honest. Yeah, 100%. Salah's give us numbers that we can't even imagine. If he's it, I don't even think, with respect, Salah's going to give us the same numbers next season that he gave us this season. So it's imperative that we bring in somebody who's going to be able to take some sort of load off Salah. Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz both have decent seasons. I think that purple patch that we saw from Gakpo was his ultimate best that you're going to see Cody Gakpo. You're not going to see Cody Gakpo go up a notch from that. I think that's his level in terms of his height. That's the highest he can get to. He had a decent season, but I'll be honest with you, and you guys know my take. I'm crying out for a left winger. I need somebody, and I've been saying it all season, I need pace. I need pace on that left-hand side, a player that's good enough to go on the outside and come inside, is able to stand his man up and go past a player. Diaz doesn't really do it for me. He never goes on the outside. Cody Gakpo doesn't go on the outside. I like hard work, don't get me wrong. They put in the shifts. Diaz puts in amazing shifts. He takes us up the park. But I need more from my left winger, Asim. I need more from him. And I think it's a position that we need to bring in. I think one of them will go, which I think it will be Diaz. And I think we go and sign a player. Who we sign, I would love Anthony Gordon. Everybody knows I love that. I love Anthony Gordon. I would do whatever it took to get Anthony Gordon at Liverpool. But if he's too pricey, then go and spend 60, 70, 80 million on Rafael Leao. He's my player. I've obviously, Cravo we can't get now. So Rafael Leao for me is somebody who I believe would take us to the next level. What are your thoughts, Asim, on that position? Because it's easy of us guys talking about it. What are your thoughts at the start of the next season? Who starts in terms of do either of them start? Let's ask you that question.
It definitely won't be Gakpo.
No. I'm with Avi. I think we have to. We're not going to deal with the right hand side. We're going to bring a striker. Then I think we need everything. Every single thing you said, I agree with. 100%. Speed is the theme of the summer.
This is all I care about him right now. I've watched Liverpool this season so many times, and the only thing I have cried out is pace, because I don't see it in any of this team. Left back, left winger, right winger, forward bar. Darwin, when he starts, he gives you a little bit, and even Darwin, Asim, hasn't been able to get anywhere near, because the way we play now, we're not reliant on his speed anymore. Because the number 9 is the role is slightly different. Whereas before, he'd run in behind, he'd go into the channels. We never really saw that. So I need players. And look, Kirkes will give us that. Hopefully, will give us that speed on that left and the left back area. But that's not enough. We need more. We definitely need more.
Do you think Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz will be better wingers with someone like Kirkes coming in, who's been flirting away with Szoboszlai? I see it. Sending his emojis.
It will help. Asim, it will help. It will help. Don't get me wrong. But it will help. But I need one. I need more. When it's isolation, Asim. When you're one-on-one, when you've got your right back isolated, our right winger has to be able to create problems for their right winger. Where it's one-on-one, bring it on. He's gonna try at least attempt to go on the inside, go on the outside, give the right back something to think about, that he's going to be marking Gordon, which is going to go, he's going to run all game is going to go at you. Imagine a Gordon, AK goes Gordon and Kirkes both on that side. They'd cause havoc to the Premier League. That would actually cause havoc to any defense, and that would you'll have sleepless nights thinking about it to the other managers. So sometimes you have to go and spend big, and we're gonna have to do that, Asim. That's why I like Xavi Simons. But if you're gonna say to me, Asim, we're gonna sign a Simons who isn't exactly the paciest, I know he can play on the left hand side with Kirkes. I like it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah, it's a good option to have. It's not.
Yes.
It shouldn't be your first option.
There you go.
But I think Kirkes helps Cody Gakpo more, because I think Cody Gakpo is more of an inside forward than Diaz.
Yes, yeah, I can accept that. That's fair.
But again, with the Simmons situation, I don't want Diaz and Gakpo just to be, our sort of standard option for them to come inside, and Kirkes, because on the big day, I can tell you now, you don't want your fullback flying up and down, because I think he'll be our right back. One stays, one goes. Unless you come up with someone like Leicester, then you can afford. Like Shimika spent a second out, top of the box, more or less.
Yeah, he did.
But on the big day is where you need to create isolation with one-on-ones situations with your winger against your opposition, whether it's like a top 10 club or even more than that, whether you come up with the bigger sides. And that's when you need your wingers to be able to have that trait to take a player on a consistent basis. So if Kirkes 100% is gonna, how can that running power not help someone? But if it's gonna suit someone, I think it'll suit Cody Gakpo more. But generally speaking, if you see Slot on a weekly basis, all he tells is the left winger touchline. Yeah. Sometimes they get drawn into the game. He reminds them back here. So because he wants Salah to be the slightly narrow one as well. And I think Cody Gakpo or Diaz was talking about it earlier on the season, and he was talking about his position, and he's mentioned that Salah needs to be slightly narrow and with the left winger stretching the opposition. Avi, you wanted to come in?
Asim, look, my first choice. I know he says Gordon, but look, Nico Williams would be my first choice.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he'll do serious numbers as well on that left hand side, and he can go on the right as well. If Salah needs a break, he can play on the right. There's a player though to look out for, and we've not scouted him or anything like that. It's not a thingy. Someone mentioned it last week, and they've mentioned it again. I watched a little bit of him a couple of days ago, just a bit of highlights. Elisis Ben Seger of Monaco. He's a Moroccan international. He's a player.
How old is he?
I think he can play on the in a 10 as well. So if we're looking for a hybrid, someone like similar to maybe Xavi Simons who can go left, right, but not as expensive as that. This Elisis Ben Seger, he's only 20. I think he would be brilliant.
How old is he?
He's 20 years old. But again, we've not scouted. This is not a bomber, by the way. It's a player that was mentioned on the chat last week, and then I think someone's mentioned it today again. I watched a bit of him on just YouTube highlights, but he looks like a player. It looks like a little bit of a Jadon Sancho as well.
What year are you in your FIFA career mode, by the way?
No, I think he's in 29 games. He's got 12 goals or something like that. He's a good player.
Okay. Let's talk
Never
about
heard of him.
He wouldn't be as expensive as the two that we've mentioned.
Yeah, but Avi, we with respect, do we not want flipping players, where we go and spend money on where they're going to be around the finished article, man? We can't be doing this.
He's been crying out for the last month on the shows. I want the finished article. I want Isaac. So now you're giving me a player that I've never heard of.
We will always look.
No, it wasn't his fault. He just saying I heard that.
One or two project players as well. Asim, come on. We always look
at in positions.
In those positions.
So how is that going to improve us?
Nico Williams isn't the finished product. Neither is
Nico Williams. You know the ceiling.
Gordon, he's not finished.
Gordon, man, come on, Prem proven, scored goals galore in the Premier League already.
Prem proven. Look at his numbers this season.
He can't get in team.
This season, this season is different, man. Listen. Listen. He was injured. He's just come back. He actually didn't do that bad. I'm telling. So okay, they're better Nico Williams. Nico Williams, have you seen his numbers? Nico Williams' numbers are abysmal.
Oh yeah, look at his
come on, yaar.
Asim, go to Nico Williams' last 10 games. He's the most informed winger in world football right now.
Asim, do goal kites, yeah. He's at an abysmal season in terms of goal scoring and assists. Avi, what numbers is he on? 6 goals, 7 goals this season?
9 goals for the season. And in
all competitions.
Asim, the last 10 games.
That's him. 9 in all competitions.
What's Anthony Gordon done this season? Honestly,
Gordon, come on, yara. Avi,
you know who I think Liverpool will have a look at this summer.
Go on.
Anthony Gordon for 80 million is not good money spent, by the way. That's not a good spend. Because that's how much Newcastle will want. Champions League or not, actually, Newcastle will want 80 million for Gordon. Do you want to pay that?
Anthony Gordon, 80 million.
How much do you
I would pay that tomorrow.
Anthony
Gordon for 80 million. I would pay 80 million for Anthony Gordon.
Let me finish. He's the same guy.
How much would you pay? 80 million.
I'd pay 80 million for Anthony Gordon.
He's the same guy.
Avi, you were happy to pay 70 million last year.
100 million Shoro on Adam Morton. Shoro.
We should Adam Morton. If we had Adam Morton right now, Allah ni kasmi. I watched him again last few games. Adam Morton. Oh yeah, what a player, man.
Not for 100
I'm telling you. Okay, maybe 100 million was high, right? Okay, but last summer, Avi, that kid has something about him, man. Adam Morton has something about him.
He's had a good run of 6
He's at Palace. So he's doing basically a Nico Williams, Asim. That's what he's trying to say. He's doing a Nico Williams. He's been good for the past 10 games.
Look what he did in the Euros, yaar. Where was
honestly, man.
Where were the 3 Lions then?
You know what? Owen Robinson, get me these 2 players, man. Bro, get me these 2, man. I'm telling you, Avi, we smash it. We smash it up. These 2 would really. I love these 2 players, man.
Going back to the side, and I know we talked a bit about Salah. I think Liverpool are going to look at Bryan Mbeumo. I'm not his biggest fan. I'll be honest with you, but I think
they're going to look at Xavi Simons. They're going to look at Hugo Ekitike and Ale.
That's all.
ITK in the house now.
It's an opinion.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. In my opinion, it's a feeling. Feeling
He just said nonchalantly, I think Liverpool are going to look at Bryan Mbeumo.
When I tell you, it's based on, look, I've got to know the terminology from you, from the likes of you. When you base it on information, you say Liverpool are in for Bryan Mbeumo. Straight up. When you get a little chaska, you say Liverpool, I think Liverpool, I feel Liverpool. I learned it off you, man.
You learn from the best then. You learn from the best.
Okay, but what do you think? Because do you think we need to manage Salah's minutes? Do you think Bryan Mbeumo is going to make that jump from Brentford to Liverpool, or do you think he's going to make that jump to someone like a Newcastle, who I know Murphy's had a good season, but I think long term they address that right inside.
He's good enough to play for a top 6 team. Asim Mbeumo he's a quality player. He's got pace, but look, Salah's not going to give up that right wing position anytime soon. And there's no way that he'll be happy with being on the bench. I'm talking about Boemo too. How old is Brian Boemo? Is he 26?
25.
We're not spending 60, 70 million on Mbeumo, man. When we've got big issues, we've got issues around the pitch.
I'm not a fan, Gene, but
Gene,
you can't navigate away from the numbers. He's definitely
Look, his numbers are amazing.
What I would say is, you mentioned a good point about bigger problems. I think apart from left back and striker, we don't know what the priorities are for Slot.
True. Good point.
I think if you ask, look,
we've got. You ask anyone. I think Josh did it.
But what about okay? So you think he doesn't think that he needs a midfielder?
We don't know.
I think he knows that. I think he knows.
No,
I think he knows that he needs. He knows. I need to buy. I need to give Gravenberch help. I believe he needs. He will think I need to go and buy one.
I agree with you, but what I mean is where that is in the list of priorities.
Okay, list of priorities. Yes, we all know. Nobody knows. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think anybody knows because we don't know what he's thinking.
Exactly.
I thought Mbeumo was French. People are saying Afcon. Is he?
Yeah, he's Afron.
Yeah, Cameroon.
It might be Cameroon actually.
No.
There must be.
Nothing.
Brian Mbeumo.
He's definitely Africa. He's definitely Africa.
Mbeumo is a Cameroonian name. Yeah, pimping, never simping.
Cameroon, according to Gerard Williams. Yeah. French-born plays for Cameroon.
Dean is a big fan.
Oh, he has one year left on his contract.
Who does?
Mbeumo going by
Really?
somebody.
Wow.
If he's got 1 year left on his contract, mate, they're a loss.
I might tweet it right now.
And then bookmark it so you can go back to it.
And then quote it about after a year or two.
There you go.
You all warned.
How many goals?
Cameroon.
1 year.
That's right.
Wow. But they've got an option, so it's 2.
No. Can someone go to his goals this season? How many goals has he got in all competitions? I
think he's got about 19 in the Premier League.
No pens.
Asim, could he play the 9? Can he play the 9 as well?
No. What he is
no, he can't. He's a BTEC Salah.
He can hold the
He's a BTEC Salah, man. That's
what he is he needs a guy like a Wissa, obviously Ivan Toney in previous years, where he can get close to. That's the sort of player he is, Avi. And his runs from out to in are very impressive. But look, I don't know. Maybe it's the way he looks. I don't know. Bulky lad. He's not really skillful, but very, very efficient. Maybe I'm judging him on aesthetics, but his numbers, you can't complain. A couple of years ago, Avi, he was making really a lot of noise on the laptop. I can tell you that. Like, that's information. Whether how much noise or how much recognition he's getting on the laptop as of today, I can't tell you.
Yeah, and he's got pace as well to burn. He's a quick player. We always look at, when it comes to aesthetics, we do look at pace, we look at movement, we look at goal scoring opportunities, and the GA and all that will come into play. If he meets those metrics, which going off this season's numbers, 18 goals and 6 assists, as Zach says, if he goes off, if his trajectory goes off, yeah, exactly. Those are data numbers that fit the metrics. So it could be a plan. If it's only a year left, it will be interesting to see where that goes.
Okay, we will wait for Gene because we have to talk about Trent. I'll start with you, Gene, Avi. Let's talk about the goal first. He came on. We were crying out for someone to come and provide a bit of creativity. He came on. Harvey Elliott came on. We looked a lot better. He scored the goal. He took his shirt off, and then everyone got talking. Talk to me.
The celebration was everything, wasn't it? Passion. It was like it was as if it was like a title clincher, although it's not a title clincher. It was like as if we were playing in a cup final, just that celebration from Trent, and hang the t-shirt on the sort of goal, the corner post. Came on, scored a goal. He was in the squad, great stuff. Gets the, it was ironic that he got the winner, but he got a great ovation as well. There was a lot of people, most of the away stand, that sang his song, and they obviously want him to stay. Sky Sports a little bit probed it today when they were interviewing him and McAllister. Look, God knows what's happening, Asim. I don't think it's a sealed deal for Real Madrid. Not that there's any knowledge to get, not as if like I've got any sources on that on the contractual stuff, but I think it's still open in the air. But he's more out than in. Let's put it that way, isn't it?
He's more out than in. So you don't believe in the miracle chain where Salah was more out than in. Van Dijk was always Liverpool. And what was that tweet? What was the third line? For Trent.
It's always been Liverpool.
It was always been Liverpool. You think so?
Look, Asim, if there was ever a moment for Trent to come out, and if there was ever a time, today it was the time, man. Because to come after all the noise you've had all the year, where it was contract talk, a guy hasn't said a word, Salah signs, Van Dijk signs, then you get the titles, inshallah coming, this week. And then for him to score the winner, it was written for him to this is it. Go score an unbelievable goal from him, only from his left foot, the amount of power he got into it, and took his shirt off towards the end, going towards that end. Honestly, the adrenaline rush that I got at the time when he scored, because it just, and that celebration and everything, the euphoria around it all was unbelievable. And you were just, in a way, you were just waiting and hoping in a way, because look, everybody deep down, we love Trent. We know he's a world-class footballer, and he's been with us from day one. We want him to stay. I know people deep down, we can say what we want, swear at him now, give him a load of shit, because we've always felt like he's one of our own. But that moment and that celebration, I felt, you know what? Come on, man. If this isn't what you want, if this isn't what you want to be part of, you're a bloody idiot. Because this club is made for you. Everything is made for you to take that captain's armband. Going to flipping. This is your city. These are your fans. These are your people. And just flipping stay. Yeah. And then, I heard that interview and I was like, flipping neck, man. It did feel like, he's off. The celebration gave me hope. I'm not going to lie, Asim. I'll be straight with you. The celebration and all that gave me a lot of hope.
Did it though?
When it did. Because
that was the perfect moment. Like Van Dijk, he kissed the badge. That was the perfect moment.
But he might have, he's gone. He went nuts, though, Asim. That's what. But after that, he went nuts. What more do you want him to do? He scored a goal. He went nuts.
Tell me instead.
I think that would have been.
This is what I'm trying to say. Avi, Avi, this is what I'm trying to say. If there ever was a moment,
a couple of months ago,
West Ham away.
Why couldn't he do this?
But this is what I'm trying to say. This was the moment. This is it. He's just done it. And imagine, he said, "I'm gonna sign or something, bro." We would have gone mental. Twitter would have gone loop, and the Liverpool fans would have been in delirium. And it's sad because we know deep down. I think that interview, it's probably him. It felt like not a goodbye, but it felt like he's off.
No, but look, you know what? People said that from the interview. I couldn't tell that he's off. He always maintained the respect that my contractual stuff will never be spoken about in public. He said that. He said that from day one. So let's see what happens. Yes, I agree. He's more out than in. And Real Madrid, the way they've been flirting and the way they've told their media outlets and sources, it seems as if it's a stick-on. Fabrizio Romano saying that Trent Alexander-Arnold will be a Real Madrid player, this and that, whatnot. That's fine. But I think there's some hope. I still think there's some hope.
Really? He clinging on, Avi.
I'm clinging.
Look, I say, Avi, there's hope, man. At the end of the day.
He hasn't signed, so. And if he does go, goodbye, thank you so much. You have been a legend at this club. You did bring the.
I've calmed down. I remember, when we first heard the news, I gave him a lot of shit, man.
You'll get my salute. You'll get a salute from me, for sure.
It's interesting because I spoke to a few lads, Avi. As much as we heard through the TV his song, there were quite a few boos, in the away end.
When he came on.
Okay, because there was a few moments where I was told where he was taking a corner, I think, or a set piece. I can't remember what I got told, but there's a few people in the away end booing him. So interesting.
Legend or rat?
I just want to address this.
I want to ask the comments. Ask him, not me.
Listen, he can.
I know you love him.
He's
legend or rat?
Hold on.
Let's
1 minute. He's given us 9 years. If he's leaving on a free, so be it. Yeah, so be it if he leaves on a free. All this, we should have got a fee from him. No, he's been here for 10, 15 years at this
No, that's bullshit.
As a little kid. No, it does. I said, why should we command a fee? He doesn't owe us anything.
Flipping neck, mate, bro. No, I don't think anybody likes him.
Huh? Bro,
right.
In 1 minute, forget that. Trent Alexander-Arnold was always going to be Trent Alexander.
Jig says both. You can be both. You can be both.
Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. He always had the skill set already from a young age. Yeah, he was always going to be a great. So all this rats and all this business, I think it's so immature to call him a rat. He's won everything at this football club. He's about to deliver the second league title. So what if he wants to go out to Madrid and spend 4 or 5 years in a different climate and a different culture? You lot would leave England tomorrow if you got the opportunity. You would.
You only say that because it's in California.
Or Morocco, or this one would go to Turkey tomorrow. He's actually making plans permanently to go to Turkey in a few years anyway.
Oman.
Yes. Someone's life, man. Like it's
yeah, bro. Avi, there's a lot of rats, man. I don't think I've actually seen one person actually say just legend.
He is a
legend. NBA legend. NBA goes legend. He's the only one. Legend. Dame Shah goes legend as well.
Avi, did he take his shirt off? Was loyalty hanging on the corner flag?
You know what? Well, the cop. I like that comment, man.
It was a great celebration.
Can I put that comment up? This one first. All's the club, nothing. All's the fans, everything. He does alls, man. Say what you want, man. Look, Avi. Look, I really went to town on him.
Brilliant comment.
Yeah, I really went to town on him a few months ago. I called him.
No, hold on 1 minute. He's doing his job, guys. He's just doing a job.
Are you let me speak?
A footballer is a job. A footballer, he's just doing his job. Now, if he can't change his job or get a better opportunity for a better lifestyle, a different culture, and he just wants to learn and experience a new lifestyle, who are we to judge? We've been in many various jobs. If we were stuck at McDonald's flipping burgers all our lives, we would get nowhere. He's done everything. He's changed.
Well, he's not at McDonald's. He's not at McDonald's, is he?
He's shown commitment. He's won everything. European Cup, league titles. Players like Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher can't say that they've won league titles. Trent delivered. He's delivered every season. And if he wants to experience something after 15 years, who are we to begrudge him as humans? Who are we to begrudge him?
Okay.
Hold
on.
Use your loaves when you call him a rat and a snake. It's absolutely immature. It's immaturity at its finest. Anyway, rant over.
No. I get a lot of that. But I think it's fair to have a bit of such a legend, the guy who's been born and bred in Liverpool, Avi. I think what the most fans are crying out for is a bit of clarity in the situation.
Maybe he doesn't have clarity himself, Asim.
Oh, fuck off. Don't give me that. Oh, come on.
You know what? Clip that. That is brilliant.
That was brilliant. The timing was brilliant. No, but maybe he's stuck in limbo as well. It's not an easy decision to make. It's not an easy decision to make. I'm sure it's not, guys. It's not an easy decision to make.
Like, Avi, can I talk now? Do I have permission to talk? You know, a few months ago, I said we all came on here and I absolutely I gave him pelters. I called him rat. I called him everything under the sun. Yeah. Because, you know, I felt like that at the time. I'm not going to lie. I felt like, you know, what the hell are you flipping playing at? You should have, gone. You shouldn't have gone. You know, you've promised us all this. Avi, it's easy to say, oh, it's just a job. It's just this. No, this is not just a job, bro. This is a football club giving you freaking everything from the age of 9 upwards. Yeah, this is a football club that's made you become an unbeliever. You can come with the bullshit. Let me see. This is the problem with him. Avi, let him finish. This is the problem. This is his problem.
I'm not sorry.
He knows it all.
By the way,
Just because you fucked off out of your UK to America, you could come with this bullshit, yeah? Because you know we can say the same shit about you. Just because you. But anyway, the truth is, Asim, look, I went to town on him. Because I felt as though the way he's handled everything, I felt it was quite ratty behavior. If I'm honest with you, the way he went about it, I wasn't a fan of especially the way he's handled it. Right, number one. Number two, Avi, it's easier to say, he's given us. Avi, he fed. You know, if he was just a normal footballer that didn't feed us fans with a load of shit about, I want to become captain, I want to become this, I want to become that. It's sort of understandable. he didn't. Now he's he's our vice captain. He's got his flipping away. He was in line to become our captain. All this sort of stuff, scouser, all that type of stuff. I get it from everybody. I get it that that he should have stayed. And if he did want to leave, at least get us a fee. Other players have shown loyalty where they've got us a fee for other, not just here, but other players. McAllister, for example, man, he could have gone anywhere. 35 million. He still got 35 million from his for Brighton. Why? Because he felt loyalty to them. Thinking, you know what, you bought me here, you gave me a few years, you've sort of made me become who I am, and you know what? Here's 35 million. I don't want to leave on a free. That gives you something to play with, right? At least have that. This fucker, it felt like he engineered it, and that hurts.
Do you think he tried to do that in January though, Chin?
What? Oh, get Real to give us 30 million. After we've been absolutely pelted him with stuff. Come on, Asim, bro. That was taking the piss out of us.
So use your brain.
That was literally taking that was taking the piss. Customer that was taking the piss. If that made me say to him, F you cannot even go in January. And F you to Madrid. Who the hell do you think you are? Now coming to us with that 20 million pound or whatever it was at the time. Yeah, so there has to be limits to this. Look, if he goes, I've mentioned this before, take your leave, mate. Like I said, I will clap for the players like the Salahs, like the Van Dijks, the Alissons of this world who gave us everything, who fought tooth and nail for this football club, and who love the football club differently. Trent can love the football club. I'm not doubting that he doesn't love the football club. He does. But you don't leave like this. You don't leave like this, man. That's wrong. He should have done it a lot. Asim, he didn't even give us any clarity for a year. He struggles along for a year, man. Come on, bro. This is you don't do that. He struggles along, man. I'm not a fan of that.
Maybe he was in limbo as well. Asim.
That limbo. Asim said, don't get swear of me as well.
Avi, let's move the argument further. Now that he's fit, who starts for you next week?
Oh, Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley starts every game as long as he's fit.
Throughout the season?
Well, for the next 5-6 games, yeah. Conor Bradley starts every game.
And what's your reasoning for that?
Because the general consensus is that Trent's out. So let's plan a little bit advanced if we can already make headways towards next season. Bradley starts for me.
Gene, any case for playing your best players?
If we were going for the league,
we're winning I think Bradley starts the next game, I think, because Trent's number one just come back from injury, right? To we win the title, Trent can stay at home, mate. I'm not bothered. Then the title's done. Then I would rather start Bradley because I want him to play. I want to see more of Bradley. The games are, we're not as, it doesn't mean anything. So the league's done. You play the players that are going to be with you until the end of next season. They're going to be there at the start of next season. And if Trent wants 20 minutes here and there, because let's face it, Asim, Bradley doesn't really play 90 minutes on a continuous basis. So Trent will get 20 minutes here and there.
In 2-3 weeks' time, Avi, if he starts Trent, would you have a problem with that? Would you have a go at the manager for that?
No, Arne Slot can do what Arne Slot wants right now. He's delivered me a second league title.
But you gave him a load of shit. You wanted Trent to not even start. You wanted him out of the squad. Do you remember all that conversation? You didn't want him anywhere near the squad.
This is what I mean.
No, I'm just telling you. Before you come up with this, these were your.
We're not on chip and chin now.
Your tone back then.
We're not on chip and chin right now. Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm giving you a key.
Your tone has been different too. Fabio Carvalho, Ballon d'Or.
Look, what's that got to do with Trent?
Asim Slot can do what he wants. If he decides to start,
I mean, that's a cop out from you.
Look, that's a cop. Because he's just got the lad.
Let me tell you, if Trent starts against Spurs next week, I have no problem with it. It's fine. If he starts, he starts. But I think there'll be a section of fans at Anfield.
I want your opinion. I've not got the copy on here.
I wouldn't start him. I would start Bradley.
So you think that'd be wrong of the manager if he starts Trent next week?
No, my point is this manager can do what he wants. I think we've won the league.
I know if the manager can do what he wants, would he be right or wrong?
What Arne Slot does now till the end of the season, it's up to him.
Okay, would he be right or wrong?
Freedom.
What's your opinion?
My opinion is that Slot will go with Bradley.
And what if he starts with Trent? Would you be wrong?
If he starts with Trent, he starts with Trent. What do you want me to say? Oh, sorry, Arne, that's wrong of you, Arne. For starting goal, you bold bastard. You starting. No, why would I have an issue with it?
But if I ask you if he starts Nunes at right back, you would have an issue with it. So why can't you have an opinion on this?
No, my opinion is nothing. My opinion is Arne Slot can do what he wants. If we were going for the title, if you're going against Arsenal, then I would kind of have a dodgy opinion. Then I would say, look, that's wrong because Bradley deserves that because we haven't got any commitment from Trent. Trent's off, don't start him. A couple of months ago, Gene is right. I did say don't start Bradley, don't start Trent because of this contract situation because Real Madrid have come with a £30 million bid in January. Yeah, I thought January was messy. But right now, I don't care if he starts or not. It doesn't bother me. The league is what matters to me, Asim. I'm sorry. If that's a really bad answer or that's not the answer you're looking for, I can only apologize.
DK. Another super chat from AK. Thank you very much. Avi said Trent is a leg who can't go on the bus.
Oh yeah, he didn't ask him. Do you know what he said? He didn't even want him on the bus. Celebrate.
Wow.
I remember that. Do you remember that, Avi? You did not want him to come onto the, on the bus. You didn't want him on the bus. Do you remember that?
Are you giving him a pass?
I still don't want him on in the parade.
So he's a legend and he's all this, but he can't be on the bus.
He's a legend, but because this football club is about one thing, Liverpool Football Club and its future. If he's not going to be part of the future, he's not part of the
this bus parade is not celebrating the future. He's not part of the celebrating the title.
No, he's not part of that. He won't be part of that.
What the what are you on about?
Thank you very much for that super chat. Thank you so much.
You're trying out your ass today.
That got you snookered. I know the crucible has just started.
No, I wouldn't.
Behind your brown ball there, mate.
Look, you asked me about Arne Slot. Arne Slot can start who he wants at right back, Asim. Trent, Gomez, Bradley. Nothing has changed. The league has been won. Arne Slot now can rotate as much as he likes.
Avi, basically,
what he wants.
That's what happened.
This is a problem when you have a million opinions on a weekly basis that change.
But for me, he's a legend. You can't say he's not a legend. For the people,
I think he's a legend. I think he's a legend.
He's a legend, of course. That's what all I was saying. He will always be a legend.
Yeah, I'm just sad the way it happened. That's all.
So the final question is to the both of you.
Okay.
Gina, Trent out or in? Is he gone or is he in?
Jazz.
Asim?
I think Trent will be wearing a white shirt next year. Not the Liverpool away kit.
We have got Liverpool away kit. Right? Fair enough. That's fine.
What about you?
I think Trent.
Are you going to tell me this week? This is a big week.
What do you say?
I think Trent extends.
Wow.
And that's your bomber. That's your bomber for the week. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold will extend.
And that's a bomber, yeah?
That's the bomber for the week.
TK. On that note, we shall leave you. I think there's been a massive pause on the chat as well. Zach goes, you need to clip that. Avi, no, joking aside, you got a feeling he extends?
I've got a feeling he will extend. I think something might have happened in the last week and a half, 2-3 weeks, where he's changed his mind. The emotions, the sort of close to departure feeling, this and that. I think we might see the mother of all U-turns. And if I'm wrong, I'll come back on the show with egg on my face. But I think we might see it.
I mean, look, there's nothing to be come on the show with the egg in your face. I give you a load of shit, but if that's an opinion that you've got, then I get it. End of the day, there's no what's there the egg on your face for?
Asim, can you answer
this? It's got no to do with that.
Answer. Can you say this? Gina, can you explain this one? Can you answer this last question? Hold on. I want Gina to Asim silence.
If I'm honest with you, Alex, look, I will be honest with you. Over the years, Avi, can I give an honest opinion on your success rates? Can I be honest, or can I lie?
100%.
No. Okay. You have to be honest.
I'll be honest. Years ago, he had a few right, and then he went through a phase where he effed up all of them. Avi will agree. But honestly, I'm not lying. This guy over the last year has got quite a lot right. even from Hoyson, even recently with Hoyson, I gave him a lot. Avi, I gave you flowers for Hoyson. You can't knock me for that. Hoyson, I gave you flowers for. Kirkers, I give you flowers for, because these are players that he's actually mentioned. And he's got quite a lot of it right. I'm not going to sit here and say he's always chatting shit. But in the previous years, he did F up a few times. I think his last biggest effort was club will be sold by November, even though he actually got the selling bit right, the idiot. I don't know why he said November at the time, but he messed up bad then. But recently, the guy's been pretty on it. So... Oh, actually, Dame goes Hato. Avi, look, Hato, I'm gonna reserve judgment on Hato because the season hasn't finished. So that I'm gonna give you a bit of time. If that happens, you will get your flowers. If that doesn't happen, I am gonna go on you with the toner breaks. So just thought I'd tell you.
Avi,
so Hato, I'm gonna reserve judgment because obviously season hasn't even finished yet. So I'm gonna chill out.
Avi, what's right? I have to praise you, and this is not becoming like less really praise and wax lyrical and get Avi's head to go out of the camera shot. Your talent ID.
Oh, not that you give
yeah. Some players that I've never heard of. In a few years' time, they become stars. Nobody was talking about Lamine Yamal. I can remember that call, Sheen. But 3 years ago, Avi, I think it was
3.5 years ago. The game mentioned it. I give him credit.
You were all warned.
This, but Avi, can I just say something? If you get this one, where's it gone now? If you get this one, Qasam, you're the king. You are the GOAT. Forget Fabrizio Romano. Forget any of them. You get me this, and I will say you're the GOAT. Qasam, I will come on here, Mechalia Marsan, and I will say Avi the GOAT.
I tell you who the real ones are, yeah? People like Sony.
I remember this.
Sony, bro. Money's in the account.
I tell you what,
these people, money's in the account of a German club.
Watching Gladbach. Listen, we did like that player. We did like Florian Neuhaus.
You told me the money was in the account.
Hold on. That tells me Sony has been
there. I can remember that when you told me money's in the account.
One minute.
Like he's a bloody bank manager.
1 minute. Sony has been there from day one, from the newspapers and my journey to other channels, Grizz, whatnot, and down here. So Sony's a real one. The loyalists will always stay with the chip. The loyalists.
Avi, I know we mentioned this lad, but I can't ignore our very own Muhammad Arfan, aka Muft. Are we signing Shirky?
Nothing in it.
Is there money in the account? When are we doing that show, boys? When we
5 in, 5 out.
5 in, 5 out.
No, you know what? I've least
we have to 9 out before the summer, or maybe in the next week or two, because you never know with Liverpool. I think
next week we're gonna spend a 1 week celebrating the title. Yeah. So I'm gonna celebrate for 1 week every show celebration. Yeah. No Arsenal fans allowed. Just a proper celebration where we celebrate. Liverpool fans celebrate together. There'll be no Arsenal fans that are allowed at that time. So after that, we can do one where we can do 5 or 6 in, 5 or 6 out. I'm happy. I'll happily do that then.
Here's another one. This one's an old fan as well then.
Guri.
You know, and these are the problem I have with French Algerian players. I don't know what it is. The Ben Arfa Algerian, Kone Cherki was Algerian. Guri. Who's Nabil Fakir? I don't know what happened.
Hassam
between 17 to 20 years old, they're these hot shots, and then they just go missing. I mean, Ben Arfa could have been the world's best in that left wing position. At the right wing.
Too good, man.
Ben Arfa. Why do you think, Abi? Is it a mentality thing? Is it a work thing?
Like these Brazilians who come from like poor backgrounds, they see a bit of money, like the Robinhos, the Ronaldinhos. They have like 3-4 years where they just sort of peak, and that's it. Adriano is the greatest tragedy story that we know. Like what he went through. As Samir Nasri,
that Inter Milan side on.
They good at Arsenal, did kind of okay at Man City, then he fell off. Then he just fell off at 26, 27.
Did you ever play Pro Evo?
Oh yeah, of course.
Inter Milan side.
Oh, brilliant. Adriano.
Oh my God.
And Ibrahimovic.
The old pre-Evo, the Pro Evo, the best team that I played with was Valencia, funnily enough. They had David Villa, David Silva. They had Baraka Vicente, who was quick on that game. Kili Gonzalez. Oh, Valencia out in Pro Evo 4 or 5, they were brilliant. But Adriano,
that was before Baraka. These guys were before David Villa's era, man.
No, they were in that team, man.
They had Kili Gonzalez, Vicente, Kili Gonzalez. I remember Gaika Mendieta. You're talking that era, man.
Yeah, no, Mendieta was gone by then. Chutti. He was in Lazio by then when you were talking Pro Evo 4, man. There is something about this French-Algerian connection by the certain age, like Houssam Aouar. Again, a talented boy, Leon. Gone. The only one that's made it is obviously
Benzema.
Zidane.
Benzema.
Yeah. Even remember Belhaj, the fullback.
Fullback. Yeah.
And then at 26, he went to Al Dulail in Qatar or somewhere. That's it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. There is something wrong there. Mahrez has done it, so fair enough.
Oh, Mahrez killed it. He's
also a late player. Oh, he came to Leicester at 25, 26.
Yeah, Mahrez was brilliant.
Tika, that's the wrap, people. Thank you very much for watching. Are we back tomorrow? What are we doing this week?
What day is it tomorrow? Monday.
Bank holiday.
Also, another name, not Bomba. Another name that I like. Another player that I like. Yeah. I like him. I like him this season. I thought he was Turkish. He's not. He's Spanish actually. Oyhan Sanse of Bilbao. Nico's on that side.
Yes.
He's a good player as well.
I got, I did a little tweet about a couple of days ago, Avi, and I said to all you scouts out there, drop a name for Liverpool about who should Liverpool be looking for this summer. Not the obvious names. A lot of people mentioned that lad.
Oyhan Sanse. I thought he's Turkish, but he's
Orhan,
Orhan. Billy might have mentioned him. Sorry, my bad. Sorry.
and it's Sanjet, not Sunset, whatever you come
what type of footballer is he?
The C is silent in Turkish. It's a J.
Sanjet.
The C is actually a J.
Sanjet.
Just thought I'd tell you.
Do your research before you come on.
So please, next time you come on.
Gini, how do you say his name?
Sanjay.
Sanjay.
It's a J.
Right, yo, people. Thank you very much for listening. Like, subscribe, and all that great stuff. And comment if you're watching the show later on.
And enjoy your week, boys, because number 20 is coming. Relax, it's coming.
Champions
over and out. Let me do the outro. Over and out. Enjoy the time, boys.
Can you answer this one?
There's no silent in here. No silent.
This is definitely silent treatment now. Yeah, drunk. Why do you always go for me, man? By the way, drunk. You always go for me, man. Why do you always go for me, Go for Avi, man. I need a hair transplant. Yeah, this guy's been going for that liposuction stuff. What can I do now?
Ozempic.
Is he talking about Sanjay here?
Oh, Yildiz is class, man. Yildiz. I've been mentioned Yildiz 3-4 years ago. Kenan is class, man.
There's another player that got a lot of mentions on that tweet. Sorry?
That Mora.
That Mora, and then someone as well with his name begins with P. Is it Piaz?
Oh, Luca P. That Paz. Nico Paz.
Nico Paz.
He got a lot of mentions as well.
He's a good player.
Okay. Any more words? Any more players?
We are done. The show is done.
The king gestured one more contract to go.